Agony, can we get a roll call, please, when you can?
Yes. Testing. Okay. Chairman Ben France,
I'm here.
Vice Chair James Firstel,
Present.
Commissioner Samuel Ellis, Commissioner Cannon Fletcher, Commissioner Linda Smith, Commissioner Mike Bernardo, Commissioner Ron Barra. I'm seeing that we have a couple of people online, so just 1 minute here. Okay. Commissioner, let me go back. Commissioner Samuel Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Ron Barra. That may be him. Commissioner Summer Campbell.
Here.
Commissioner Shamia Woods. Commissioner Quincy Grant. Commissioner Quentin Whiteside.
Present.
Currently, we have 6 commissioners present.
Is that quorum?
6 present would be a quorum.
Okay. Thank you, Mahogany. In your packet, you should have received the July meeting minutes that were sent out last Friday. I wanted to go ahead and do we have a motion to approve the July meeting minutes?
Move for the approval of the July meeting minutes.
That was a motion by the Vice Chairman Firstel. And do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Summer. All right. Citizen communication. Do we have any citizens here? I think that's you. 1. Please, if you have anything to say or show, if you want to go up to the podium and state your name and why you're here. I think, don't you have a presentation or a slide?
It was emailed over via PowerPoint. I don't know. I guess it was supposed to be maybe prepared.
Okay. Mahogany's working on it right now. If you want to go ahead and kind of say your name and where you live and why you're here, and we can.
Yeah, so my name's Nolan Hughes. I am a Little Rock resident residing in Walton Heights neighborhood. There's the PowerPoint. Have been fundraising for the last 40 days to put together the South Ridge Terrace Garden Park Initiative, and it would be considered a private-public partnership between our neighborhood and the city of Little Rock. We have raised. Are you able to click the next slide? So it's a city-owned property. It's an important piece that connects the Two Rivers Park and the bike trail that was designed, I guess, 2 years ago and installed, that runs across the road of South Ridge in our neighborhood that goes down to connect to Connor Park at the bottom or towards Highway 10. These are the slides rendering. If you can go to the next one. Next one. This is where we're at as of today. So we did a Kickstarter campaign primarily just for our neighborhood residents. We have about 500 homes in the Walton Heights area. There is no public gathering space or communal space for parents or children to hang out. And so the South Ridge Road is just narrow, and this is the only real piece of property that we could potentially designate for a common area that could both benefit the citizens of Walton Heights, but also the visitors that are coming in to mountain bike, and then that they have to use our South Ridge Road to load and unload bicycles. There is a small parking space in front of there. And so we're looking just to beautify this area. It's currently just overgrown with privet and just vegetation. It's really unused land. So we're looking to make an investment and an improvement to the parcel. And we've currently raised around $12,000. We have 45 backers with 5 days to go. We're hoping to land just around 15,000 that we're looking to invest into this parcel that the city of Little Rock owns.
Is 15,000 is that phase one? Are there multiple phases? I'm pretty sure.
There are multiple phases, and that's why I'm here and we're here to talk about how we can work together to build this out. So phase one is 15,000. We've already got those expenses covered for like the boulders, rocks, landscaping, chess tables, picnic tables. So 15,000 will cover the bulk of like the initial phase one cost, outside of like going further deeper into the property with like slides and like more groundwork. So yeah, phase one should be pretty easy to accomplish, in my opinion.
Any questions right now? Hey, Leland, what can, from a partnership perspective, I know it all comes down to money, but what can the parks do to help move this forward? If any, is it got you in the budget for next year, or sales tax, or
That's,
all the above?
I'll speak to that briefly. So I've shared with the group in the neighborhood, and they've been following right in line and footsteps and coming up with design work. They completed a pop-up in the neighborhood. I participated in that. There was a lot of neighborhood that came out in support of it. I've said from day one that if they were able to raise some money, I'd be hopeful to be able to match a little bit of that. It really depends on future revenue and funding that the Parks Department would receive in next year, and sales tax, and different funding sources such as that. The biggest thing is that we could help with some aspects of it, maybe some of the boulders or some aspect of the phasing of the approach. We always want to be supportive of neighborhoods that are raising money on their own for new park experiences. So I'm very supportive of the whole plan. I think they've done a great job on the, presenting, particularly, what is this, your third or fourth presentation to this group?
Yeah, Ryan's taking the lead. He just had twins this week, so I'm filling in for Ryan on this one. But yeah, we've spent countless hours canvassing. We do have, as you can see on the board for next month, the park cleanup event at the trailhead. So the goal is to kind of go in, get the pushy plants, and remediate the privet and the invasive species, and kind of start the cleanup project. And then start working with the suppliers on the raw materials, such as like the boulders, the picnic tables, and the outdoor chess tables. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate the
you.
continued update and progress. Moving on to director reports, staff reports, events. Any questions on the staff reports that were sent out by Mahogany on Friday? It's, recreation, safety, administration, and operations. Any questions on those reports before I hand it over to Leland to get into his report?
Yeah, regarding the summer youth program, we talked about it prior to the summer. And if I'm adding it up right, it looks like there's 300 or 400 kids at least, maybe 500. Is there a total number? I'm just trying to add them all up real quick and make sure I'm getting them all right for the different, I know there's different camps that may or may not count. It's a week or 2 week or not the whole summer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you like, Cannon, I would recommend that you or the commission would ask for a presentation on our summer playground program or summer, since it's, as a wrap up for the summer.
Yeah. That would be good.
Is that your request?
Request that. Yeah. I would like to have that. I mean, I think it's something that, anyway, I'm glad the city does it. I think we've talked before and I've talked with Shwanda offline on, it's just a funding, it seems like, and sometimes space, depending on the community centers, but it never seems like they have enough slots. Like there's always kids that would take slots if they're created kind of thing.
So the slots fill up very quickly. It's $100 to participate. And it's, yeah, we would be able to do more. We use PIT funding to fund it. And we've had the same amount in PIT funding for as long as I've been aware of. So as you can imagine that,
Meaning the same, it doesn't change with inflation. or
right,
anything,
we
just
get.
like if it's
roughly
$100,
we
it's
get
$100.
$200,000 a year for PIT, and that's not just used for summer playground. That's used for all of our different programming across our department. So
What's PIT stand for?
prevention, intervention, treatment.
If Shawana can be there
Yeah, I'd love,
next month, I think it'd be great to have a presentation on that next month in September. If we can put that on the agenda under presentations.
I would see this as something too that once we see the report, if there's 800 kids, there's likely 800 more that would do it. And it gets back to what do we do as a commission and recommend to the city board and to you guys, on if it's effective and it's worth expanding, that kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, there's even more of a discussion there. And we could get in this when she presents, but so we didn't have summer playground at West Central. It was a newer community center. And there was another grant funded program there. And that actually moved out because of the FEMA moving in during the tornado. It's a little bigger story there. We're not going to go into all the details, but we restarted a new program there and made some changes. And we plan on taking some of those things that have done well there over this year or this summer and incorporate those into our other locations. And so I'll let Shawanda share all that next month.
What's that?
The original program, the 21st Century, that's what they did have, yes. This past, or before FEMA was there, yes. Oh. Yes, that was our new summer playground program that I'll have Shawanda give an update on that. Well, here she is walking in. But that's, so we talked about trying to make some improvements to our summer playground program. We didn't want to do it, citywide or at all locations all at once. We wanted to make sure they were successful. And so we thought it was a good idea to try those new things at West Central. And from what we've been told so far, it was received very well. And so Shawanda might want to pick up and discuss some more of that. But Shawanda, you're going to be here next month to be able to report out on the summer playground programs. Okay, Canon here has requested your full report next month.
Yeah, I'd just like to see, I don't know. I think it's an amazing program and I'd just like to see what was good. And it sounds like you guys did some testing at West Central, which is awesome. And so what that can be rolled out to, and then what as a city and community we could do more, kind of thing. So.
Yes, we're gonna do more outdoor recreation, implement that into the program, and just additional activities and things for the kids to do all summer for 7 weeks. So yes.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
All right, Leland, sorry, go to you.
Okay, so if there's no questions in terms of staff on projects, right? So if everybody will, there's a Maumelle Pinnacle master plan. I want to make sure everybody's aware what this is a draft version of a plan that the state and many other stakeholders, as you see on the back cover of the front page, of who've been or who are project partners. The city has not put any financing into this project at all, but I've been as project stakeholder and been involved in this. The reason that I bring it to your attention today, to the commission, is that there's a handful of parks that are associated with this: the Arkansas River Trail, River Mountain, Two Rivers, Natural Steps could play a part of this, Connor Park. And this is the bigger version of this, or the bigger master plan concept, is developing a master plan of recreation uses from, say, west of 430 out around Lake Maumelle and back. As you may or may not know, there's a lot of, with our River Mountain Trails, Pinnacle State Park, Pinnacle Trails, Lake Maumelle, the trail system at Rattlesnake Ridge, the Blue Mountain Trails. There's a lot of different recreational assets, and they all have different components. Some of them are city, some of them are state-owned, some of them are the Nature Conservancy. These are all different agencies that have been involved in this. And they've asked us to finalize review of this and make any final comments before they make a final version of this. I think the deadline is due end of next week, or roughly in there. But anyway, I wanted to present it to y'all so you can take this home, take a look at it, see if there's anything that sticks out, why we did something, why we didn't do something. We can discuss it again next week. This will be an ongoing project. There's certain things in here, say like a bypass trail at Two Rivers Park. The Arkansas River Trail is obviously too heavily used, which is not a bad thing, but it's heavily used. So what would it look like if we develop a new trail that would create a bypass around that? So your input would be appreciated on any of these ideas in this plan. I don't know exactly the next step. That would be up to the state. The person that's at the state that is running this is Catherine Andrews, the Director of Outdoor Recreation. And so I'll just kind of open it up for questions. I know nobody's had a chance to really review this, but you've been able to flip through it. And are there any just general questions before we move on?
Yeah, I have a question. Leland, what are your thoughts on it? Have you had a chance to review it, and do you have any concerns based on things that you're doing, or any? This really highlights some things that we're doing.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about it. I guess maybe I downplayed it a little bit just I've been involved in it for so long. But this is one of those things that if we actually could achieve and get funding and everybody was a partner on, I think it's one of those things that would make Little Rock, the capital city, stand out in outdoor recreation for the state. I think it would be a huge achievement. People would be able to come here and go and experience all of our great outdoors and get a real taste of it all from, you could stay downtown, ride the Arkansas River Trail, and get right into the system and experience all of it. We really have a lot of great assets, but we don't highlight them. They're all individual. This would really pulls it all together and makes one major master plan, and makes it to where also they all interconnect. And then we would also, do small things that are big in my mind, but I mean, such things as like sign standards and mapping and understanding and connections. And so instead of having everybody have their own little thing, they'd all be interconnected. I think it would be unbelievable for us to figure out how to accomplish it. So.
And when you say interconnected, just following up, when you say interconnected, somebody's got to be in charge of this whole thing. Would it be Catherine Andrews in their office, in coordination with everybody, but like the buck stops with her? Is that how this would run?
Yeah. So, that's a great question. There's an area in here where it says who's responsible for what. There's a little chart. Let me see. Project list outcomes, like page 85. So you can see, if you'll look on that, one of the first ones at the top is the Big Dam Bridge to River Mountain. So there's a concept there that from the Big Dam Bridge to River Mountain, if you've been on that area, that's the Arkansas River Trail. It's essentially right now a closed road that was originally, a vehicle road. Okay, so yes, it's functional, but if you look at the plan in here, we have a lot of different ways to make it better. And so if there's a way to, facilitate that outcome or find a way to fund that, then you look at partner lead would be myself, the Little Rock Parks and Recreation, right? The maintenance of that would still be under us, right? So this really gives you a sense of who's kind of responsible for what sections. But it allows us to say, wow, we could really put all this together. It also allows us to apply for much larger grants and different funding mechanisms because we have this whole big plan and we're all working together. And I don't know if, if the state, hopefully maybe one day might have some different funding or different grant programs that I'm not aware of at this time. But yes, if it was on city property under Little Rock Parks and Recreation, this commission would be involved in it and I'd be involved in it. And that's why I'm presenting it to you today to review.
Is it like just a connection of new trails or I guess I'm just trying to, I haven't, maybe I'm missing the point.
Right. You got to kind of read through it all, but yeah,
Yeah.
the bigger master plan is I don't know who here might be the bigger cyclist or mountain biker or hiker or whatever, but there are individuals that like to say, come to a town and ride all weekend or whatnot. And for us right now to get in your car and drive to River Mountain, get out, ride that, and then get back in your car and go to Rattlesnake or whatever. These assets are so closely, connected. They're not physically connected now, but this would make them connected. And then you would grow to this. Right now, there is not a full trail around Lake Maumelle that I'm aware of. The
Ouachita Trail.
Ouachita Trail goes around the north
Northern part
side.
of it, yeah.
There's the Blue Ridge Trail, the Blue Ridge
Rattlesnake.
Mountain, Rattlesnake. So how do we connect all that and make it something special, more than just unique one-offs here and there?
Maybe in October or November, we can have Catherine come in and maybe talk more about it.
Yes, so I actually asked her if she would be open to that. She said definitely she would.
Yeah.
So I know that she wants to finalize this version first, but yes,
Yeah.
I think that would be a great concept. I mean, a great idea is to have her
Okay.
come and
I'll-
give a presentation.
I know her, so I'll reach out to her.
Okay.
And
That'd be great.
see when it's best for her based on the master plan completion and her schedule. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Like I said, it is a draft, so we don't want to give it, present it to the public or anything. If everybody will keep it to themselves, I'd appreciate that. So just one board item. We haven't had anything to the board in the past, so I don't really have anything in the last week or two to present on. What it will be on the next agenda meeting, I will be taking for Two Rivers, and this plays into this project a little bit. The Two Rivers Trail, part of the Arkansas River. So the section that's in Two Rivers that is city-owned, we applied for an RTP grant, and we have had successful bids on that, and we were able to find enough money to facilitate I think it's roughly $250,000 resurfacing. So we'll be resurfacing all the asphalt trail, Arkansas River Trail out at Two Rivers, which I'm real excited about. It's been needed if you're a cyclist. And so that's a nice project that we'll be taking. Then I did cover the master plan. One other thing I wanted to report out on was this building here. So the board no longer meets here. The city board no longer meets here. They have actually moved to City Hall. So if you plan to come to another board meeting, please visit City Hall. This location, I'm working with our IT department to try to keep as much of this IT technical aspect stuff here. There'll be more information to come on that, but we'll plan on still meeting here unless there's something from the commission. We've always met outside of City Hall. I think it's easier to do that. If there's a desire from y'all to meet at City Hall in the boardroom, it's definitely available and we can schedule that, but it's not my recommendation currently. And then there's the sales tax initiative. Since we've met, it was passed by the board fully. So I do appreciate the board for their, passing and their support. There were a few minor changes to the items that I've presented to you thus far. And one of the biggest ones was they took $5 million off of the outdoor sports complex and making it a $55 million project instead of a $60 million project. And I believe they put that towards infrastructure and trash trucks, if I recall that correctly. Obviously, there'll be a new layout of the exact information, and that will be voted on now in November 5th at the presidential election. So somebody did ask me how we could, how this group could support the sales tax initiative. I do appreciate the letter thus far. Supporting on your social media as you'd want would be awesome. There may be some volunteer opportunities that come up in the future for the campaign. If you wanted to sign up, I'll be sharing that information when I have it. The mayor's website is a great place to send people that are just need more information. There's a lot of great information there, and there's an opportunity to for people to request for people to come out and speak to the sales tax. And so if anybody ever asks you questions and you don't feel comfortable with all the information or whatever, I would recommend sending them to the website as well as contacting us for more information on the sales tax. So is there any questions on the sales tax at this time?
I just, I wasn't in person, but watched it online and want to thank Sam Ellis for getting up there and speaking on behalf of the Parts Commission. And I don't know if was anyone else there at the board meeting? Thank you so much for being there. And
I want to say thanks as well.
yeah,
Greatly appreciated and well stated by both of you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you too. I thought it was great. There was some individuals that were, against a sales tax, but if you listen to what they were saying, there was a lot of misinformed people, I believe. And so the individuals that stood up and supported it had some really good data and really good points. So I appreciate that.
Do you know if the city will have like a mock ballot or what it will look like? That can be a bit confusing. And I hear it's the last item
That's
on the
always-
ballot, right?
I can pass that along.
Okay.
I don't know, but if that's a request, I think it'll help.
Something to share like on social media.
I agree.
Well,
be tricky.
Yes, sometimes yes is no.
Right, yeah, I think some clarification of how it's laid out, and also clarification of, for parts, since there were some small changes. I don't know if the information's been updated on the mayor's site yet in terms of the little tweaks, the little amendments that happened at the end. But all in all, it's about what it's been the whole time, so. Okay, so that's the biggest reports I have. I think somebody might have had some questions about some playgrounds.
Yes, can you please update on Boyle Park? I did see in the minutes that the playground equipment started on August 5th. So if that started and what the timeline is to ultimately get to Kiwanis.
Right, so I'll just back up a little bit. So we were able to get some funding through some bond funds, and there was a decision to replace 3 playgrounds. One of them was Pankey, one was Boyle, and one of them was Kiwanis. We ended up presenting the plans to the neighborhood for, I believe, all of them at different pop-up events. The neighborhood was able to select, working with our staff. And anyway, we have a vendor that is installing them one by one. They've completed Pankey. We've had some challenges there with the heat index. So we're working on some changes to the opening there, but that one's finished. We're finishing some landscaping there. Bull Park is in the middle of construction. It's actually one of the biggest playgrounds. It's a really almost $1 million playground replacement when you add in all the grants that we applied for and everything else. There's also a really exciting mountain bike project that is nearing completion there that we've already heard from a lot of mountain bike individuals that it's a really exciting project. So I look forward to having a big opening for that. And I understand that might be 4 to 6 weeks out. Justin, our director of operations, is not here. He could give you more detail. But once they finish that, once the vendor finishes the actual playground, they'll be moving over to Kiwanis. I know that the neighborhood is excited because they see some of the components there at Kiwanis. But there's only one local installer for this company and they go from playground to playground. So I know we all want it today, but I appreciate everybody's patience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That's some echo Okay. All right. Do we have any presentations? I don't think we have any for this month. Looks like next month we'll have Shawanda speak about the summer youth program. Unfinished business. I'll just kind of quickly go through these. I appreciate everyone supporting the Parks Commission letter that was emailed to the mayor and the city board of directors, just showing our support for the sales stats. And I don't think that's the main reason it was passed, but it definitely helped having seen the support from the Parks Commission. So appreciate everyone doing that. On the sales tax initiative, I do want, and maybe we can talk about this next month, new business. But I do want to Leland's point is all right, now that the board has passed a sales tax to be voted on in the presidential election in early November, what can the commission do? And I've got some ideas of writing a letter to the paper editorial or social media campaigns, or even doing like a pop-up at a few parks and having the commission there to answer questions. So I would like, as we get for next month as maybe a new business, if you guys want to come up with some ideas of, hey, what's there out there that's creative to help us? Because I mean, to me, we do face an uphill battle just because 3 years ago it was defeated pretty much 68-32, and I think the city needs all the help we can get, and I think if we can kind of form a coalition to help market and promote the sales stats, because I don't know what the percentage is, but it's over 50% that's going to the park. So I would please, if you want to brainstorm and think about what we can do to help. We have 3 months to go, and it could be just as little as a social media post, but I think maybe some more creative things or editorials for the paper that I'd be happy to write, or a pop-up at a few parts. So any comments from any of the commissioners or staff just that you can think of now? If not, I want to save it for new business next month. But anything, have comments right now today?
Yeah, I asked Cappy last time she was here, and this was all brought up, if anyone from the mayor's office had reached out to the group that was opposed to it last time, that put a lot of money into making sure people didn't vote for it. They own the athletic clubs in town. I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but has anyone reached out to them? Got any feedback? I mean, is there a new group that's already?
I think there is, from what I've heard, there is
campaigning against it?
there's a Facebook group, I think that's anti-sales tax. I'm not sure. I'm not on Facebook, but there is an anti-Facebook group I've heard of. Has anyone heard of it? No, I just heard that today. I can text my source real quick.
Yeah. No, I'm not the most plugged in on Facebook or any of that stuff. So, I think it'd be curious though, just to at least see what the messaging was last time. I vaguely remember it, and it's the same old tropes dragged out and beat down on
I'll say
why you
this,
shouldn't
yeah.
want a sales
Some-
tax. And
Some of the negative came last time from some of the board directors. They weren't all.
they seem like they're on board now.
And now they're all on board. So, I mean, hopefully that is the big swing or the change.
That's
But
what I'm hoping. I mean, because 2 or 3 were against it last time, right? I think. So
I think most people felt it was rushed last time. So since we went through that, I think people have had it in their minds and had time to really digest it.
Microphone.
No, I'm loud. It's coming through. But I mean, obviously, some of the biggest groups that you can get involved, whether it's the Little Rock Realtors Association. I mean, there are people like that that really are hands-on out in the community. So as much formal support as we can get is important.
And then Ben, what'd you say that result was the last election cycle?
Don't quote me, but I think in 2021, the last time it was at 68-32 against.
It was like 2/3, 1/3 kind of thing, or close to it in that range.
That was 2021, and then the mayor wanted it to go to the ballot, I think last year, but the tornadoes caused him to do it this year. So, but I think, as Leland said, there's every board director is for it, and it's going to have to take people like us to help get this passed. So, come with the ideas for next month, and let's create some action items out of next month's meeting.
I'll put it to you, Andrea, just because you'll talk to him more than I will, but I mean, is the mayor's office going to put out some marketing and stuff that's more to the public quicker than at the very end, or? Okay. Okay, I'm just asking because it's like at some of the meetings, stuff hadn't been seen till right at the meeting, and the city meetings and stuff, like community meetings. Okay. Awesome.
Brittany?
Hey guys, just to give you some behind the scenes perspective on things that I'm working on, things that the task force is working on. So, executive administration did learn a lot from the last 2 times, and we have an internal task force that includes representation from all the departments that are going to be affected positively by the tax, and we meet together. We were kind of on pause until the board gave its thumbs up, but we're going to be meeting again. As far as parks goes, I take this very seriously and want every bit of that $219 million now that will be going to Parks and Recreation, and for people to understand fully what that means when they're voting yes for it. So just so you know, things that are coming down the pipe from me are signs at every facility that will be getting improvement funds. So at Ribsman Golf, we're going to do some Coroplast signs outside of the facility so that existing patrons to that facility can see what the improvements would look like and educate themselves, hopefully, once they see that rendering. We have a lot more renderings and a lot more plans this time than we did in 2021, and I hope that will impress the community to dig a little bit deeper and educate themselves on the tax. What else are we doing? There is, of course, the parks dedicated website for the tax money that will be going into parks. So if you search littlerock.gov, Parks Powered Results for the Rock, that is our parks tagline. And on there, you've got all of the project renderings. You've got the brochure that you saw a couple months ago. There hasn't been very many tweaks to that, but we have added the consultant's presentation to the board as it relates to the sports complexes. What else do we have? We definitely want to get in front of people and tell them about the tax from our words, to hear it from us, to see the project renderings, to read these materials, to ask the director and the deputy directors questions about how the money is going to be spent, because we want to build that trust. So if you are in a neighborhood association, if you are a professional member of an organization, reach out to me or Leland, or click that button on our website or the mayor's webpage about the tax to book us for that meeting, because we will come to you and present. So we want to tell people about this as much as possible. That's how we could really use your help between now and the next meeting.
Thank you. All right. Next line was Commissioner Subcommittee discussion. So if you don't remember from last month, Quentin volunteered to do social media committee, and then JT was going to be master plan committee chair, and then Sam is parks conservative chair, and then Linda will be on the master plan chair or master plan committee. So just kind of wanted to go over that, what we went over in July. If you weren't here, we had three members I just talked about that volunteer to be subcommittee chairs, and the next line of new business is those subcommittees can appoint members to their subcommittee. Is everyone understand that? Did I get that
Yes,
right?
Yeah, that is correct. And then once the chair of each subcommittee appoints members to their respective subcommittee, then all of that needs to be approved by this commission.
Okay. Go ahead.
So as chair of master plan, I would like to appoint Linda Smith and Mike Bernardo as members of that committee. If it please commission.
Do we vote just at the end of it or now for each committee? I'm sure we just vote at the end of it.
I would suggest after each committee appointment,
Okay.
then we'll have a vote.
Okay. Does anyone else want to be appointed to the master parts? You do?
I would like to be a part of that. If I don't know if I can be on a separate committee, but I would like to be part of the master plan as well, if possible.
More the merrier.
Okay. So JT has nominated Sam, Cannon, Linda, and Mike. All those in favor of voting for these master plan committee members, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Let's go to Park Conservancy. Sam, can you nominate me?
I nominate you. I'm gonna need some help on this one. So yes, is there any other interest for our committee?
I would like to be.
Okay, Summer. Would you nominate Summer? Sam?
I nominate Summer. I was trying to figure out who said that. Sorry, I couldn't be there in person today.
No worries.
Looks like you're in a park. You win.
I mean, what a better place for a Parks Commission meeting.
Does anyone else have interest in being nominated by Sam to Park Conservancy? All right. Quentin, you're up. You'd like to nominate anyone? Hopefully those people who haven't been.
Do we have
Dawn?
we need a vote for?
Oh, okay. All those in favor of the committee members for the Parks and Services Subcommittee, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
And then, okay, we're at social media. I would hope I know Ron's not here. Quincy's online. Is anyone else that hasn't?
Well, I feel so strongly that everyone should be on a subcommittee, and so I believe that everyone that's not already on one can be on the social media subcommittee.
Okay. Who is not on a committee?
I would like to be on social media.
There you go.
I'm sorry. This is Quincy talking. I would like to be on the social media subcommittee.
Perfect. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and nominate Ron.
Okay. I'll nominate Ron, Shamia, and Quincy to be on the.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you all. Everyone is on a committee now. Mahogany, if you don't mind sending out kind of a list of all that, just when you can before next month, that would be great. So everyone knows. In your packet, there is the bylaws of the advisory commission. It doesn't go into details when it talks about subcommissions or committees on page 6 of the bylaws. It just talks about the 3 committees and how you can be appointed by each one. But if you look on page 1 and 2, it talks about the responsibilities of the actual commission. A lot of that's geared toward social media and marketing and master plan and all that. So I would encourage the chair people to try to, maybe hold a introduction meeting to get started on this. I know there are rules around more than 2 people have to, get emailed and all that, but, okay.
Right.
Can you, Beth?
The meetings of a subcommittee of the Parks Commission are considered public meetings, open public meetings. And open public meetings are subject to the Freedom of Information Act requirements. As far as notice to media, the Freedom of Information Act speaks in terms of special meetings and a 2-hour prior notice. I would follow that rule regarding special meetings. This will not be a special meeting of the Parks Commission, but it's a meeting of a committee of a Parks Commission, and give at least, the Parks Department, give at least 2-hour prior notice to the city's PR representative, Aaron Sadler, regarding the meeting. This subcommittee meeting would need to be recorded because it is a public meeting, and the recording of a public meeting is required by state statute. And the recording must be maintained by the Parks Department for 1 year. It's the same rules that would apply to the Little Rock Parks Commission applies to the meetings of the committees of the Little Rock Parks Commission.
But I can just record that on my phone and get it to you guys, or?
Well, I would suggest coordinating with the Parks Department and Director Couch, because those recordings have to be maintained, are required to be maintained for a year through the Parks Department.
I'm saying there's nothing definitive that says how, or the method of, the method of recording.
No.
So
It
Zoom
needs to
recording
be,
should work.
right, as long as it's able to be maintained by the Parks Department. The recording has to be audio, but it can also include audio and visual.
Yeah, so if you can't do it in person, if Teams or Zoom's better, which probably is for a lot of people, or you can potentially do it before and after these meetings, which could be recorded here.
And that's been done before because there's already a setup for recording and things of that nature.
Is there a rule about emails? I mean, because our email is probably foiable when we're talking about this type.
With the idea that commissioners emailing back and forth regarding business of the Parks Commission, that's not what you want to do, because that can be considered having a meeting through email, and you can't, that's not allowed under the open meeting laws.
What if we're emailing about setting up a meeting?
I would suggest that all go through the Parks Department as regarding setting up, coordinating.
What does that mean?
with setting up commission meetings. Committee meetings.
You get to like copy Leland, or what does that mean?
That, and Leland, did you, I believe you did that before and coordinated with some of the committee meetings, coordinated those.
We've done it a series of different ways, yes, Beth, but I don't know what always goes on behind
Mhm.
closed doors. I would just say that the parks offices can be utilized for meetings, and Mahogany could help set up a meeting. So if you wanted to, to be serious about it, so you could email me the time and all this, and Mahogany could send something back out. I know that's still email, but
That would be one commissioner,
at a
that's the
time.
chair, emailing the Parks Department to request the coordination of setting up the committee meeting. So that's not considered having a meeting outside of the forum. That's not considered a public meeting at that point. Now, two commissioners emailing back and forth about Parks Commission business, that might be considered a meeting that it's subject to open meeting laws, and you just can't have that through email.
Well, let me ask you this. If we had it, and we can talk about this offline too. I feel like some of this stuff's ineffective to actually getting the job done. And I'm okay, like if there's a FOIA request for my email about what I've been talking about, I know that might come. If I know that's going to come, then is that okay for me to send it through email? Like let's say you get a FOIA request to the city attorney's office, and you're like, all right, Quentin, here it is. Give me all your emails on this topic. Is that something that we can do to just further along this? Because if a FOIA request never comes, then it's never an issue, right?
I think we're not talking about the same thing.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is two commission members cannot have a meeting about parks business through email, because that is outside of the regular meeting process. The media would have to be notified. You cannot have a meeting virtually through email back and forth. That would violate open meetings laws.
Okay.
If you're talking about your emails being subject to FOIA, it possibly could be. If you're emailing to the Parks Department about something related to the Parks Commission business, it could be considered a public record and subject to FOIA.
Okay, thank you.
We cannot have commission meetings through email, is what this amounts to. That's what I'm talking about, is the open public meeting needs to be in public, the media notified, and available for media participation if they so choose. And that just can't happen through email back and forth between all these parks commissioners.
Beth, can you put together an email and email the commission, just the bullet points of everything, just so we're all understand?
As far as, sure.
As far as meetings and emails.
And I think I've sent those out before, but I'm happy to do so. That
Yeah, if
we
you don't
cannot conduct meetings through email. They have to be either at a regular business meeting or at a specially called meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to have it, just a visual of it, and have everyone see it, so. Anything else on new business? Okay, agenda items for next meeting. I think we're going to have Shawanda give a presentation about the summer youth program, talk about the testing that's going on at West Central. Anything else? I will try to get Catherine Andrews here maybe in a couple months to talk about this master plan that Leland went over. Anything else that, oh, and then I also want to, bring your ideas about sales tax promotion. I want that to be a new business as well. So
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, just don't share it with the public is all I'll ask. I mean, after next week, it's open to the public, but I mean, I think some people might want to take it and actually read some aspects of it, so.
I'd say just a standing open item on sales tax initiative. Like you'd mentioned, Leland, like $5 got pulled out of one spot. And I mean, just so we have updated numbers and sort of what the, renderings, that kind of thing that Brittany talked about. And I mean, just so we can start getting access to that kind of information to help move the conversation along.
We do have some renderings, and there might be some additional ones made in the future depending on funding. But yes.
Okay. Anything else for next meeting? All right. Go ahead.
Can you put on there for new business, pickleball tournament?
Oh, I'd love to hear about that. Oh, yeah.
You want to share about Hyman? Bless you.
I don't know why pickleball made me think about that, but we have started a community series meeting at Heinemann Park that is focused on outdoor recreation at that park. So if you are able, please join us tomorrow evening at 5:30 at the Pro Shop. We will be doing a focus group on disc golf. And then 3 weeks from that day on September 5th at 5:30, we will be hosting a wider community meeting. We expect a lot of people from the neighborhoods nearby to come talk to us about what they want as far as amenities, facilities, the design. So please share that information. It's on our Facebook page. It's on our website. Please share the word about the Heinemann Park Community Meeting Series.
Thank you. Okay, board liaison feedback. Director Lewis, do you have anything?
Just want to give my thanks, especially to all of you and then West Central for the progress that they made over the summer. I visited a few times and that's why I was saying, well, I know they got kids over there because I went. So, it was really good. And then they had a football clinic a few weeks ago and that was good. Yes. And I'm just grateful for the progress that's being made with Boyle as well as Kiwanis, because I get calls and emails all the time on just various topics. And Leland is always attentive and answers so timely. So it just makes it easier for me when I'm having to relay the info.
Have you got any feedback from your ward residents about the sales tax?
Yes, the majority are following my lead. Well, I'll say the ones that I'm speaking with directly.
Yeah.
And that's, I think I made that statement a while ago. We have to take the leadership on this and educate our residents. If they see how we feel, and the stance that we're taking, it influences them. If I was to walk around and negative Nancy and started talking about the cons and everything under the sun, they follow that lead, and that's not what we need. So if we can all be advocates, which sounds like we are from this meeting, but that's really the stance on it. Now that all of the board, which I wasn't on the board when they didn't agree the first time, but now that all are on board this time, it's our opportunity to get it right and really advocate in our ward through various meetings. And I did get confirmation from the mayor sitting here about the marketing campaigns, and all of that's going to kick off after Labor Day. So there are going to be continuing meetings. He just left one actually with the group. So that's the focus now, is getting in front of our residents to really talk about the importance of this, because I tell people all the time, we have this laundry list of needs and not enough funds. And how fair is that if we want to keep adding projects and adding requests, but yet we don't want to come out of pocket for anything? And then Mia, I had to text her the moment she was speaking, because she took the words out of my mouth personally about how we can go to other places, enjoy their sports complexes, all of their venues, and the benefits that their city have, and we don't say one thing when we look at that receipt and it has that tax, multiple taxes. We don't say a word. We go to Dallas, we go to Atlanta, we go to Houston, we go to Fayetteville, Springdale, all of that. But when it comes to where we lay our heads, we have a problem. And that's my personal problem with this city. I'm hoping that this time we can get it right.
Well said. All right. If nothing else, it's 12:50.
Amen, right?
There you go. It's a good ending. Well, that's going to call meeting to the end. I have no gavel, so done.
Thank you.
Thank you.